Hello everyone. Today we are going to study about the phylum Cnidarian characteristics. Where do they live? We will know about the habitat. Most of them are marine animals. Most of them live in marine habitat. Only Hydra, which lives in the fresh water, that's why Hydra is called as the freshwater polyp. Hydra is called as the freshwater polyp. Some organisms, they live a single called solitary. Some organisms, they live in group called colonial. So among these, some are solitary, some are colonial. First, an important characteristic is observed, that is the tissue grade of organization. First time. Now poriferans, we have seen only cellular grade of organization, that is a group of cells are there. There is no tissue, no organ system. First time we have seen the tissue grade of organization in cnidarians. Now next important character is diploblastic condition. Diploblastic condition. Di means two. Two membranes are there in the body of these organisms. Now if we observe the Hydra diagram, outer ectoderm, this is the ectoderm, where it is ended with the on oral side and hypostome on which mouth is present. This mouth, it is covered with the tentacles. Okay, so now inside we can see one more layer which is known as the endoderm. Here we can see outer ectoderm, inner endoderm. This is the ectoderm and this is the endoderm. As only two layers are there, two membranes are there, it is called as the diploblastic condition. Diploblastic condition. Between this ecto and endoderm, there is a non-cellular part called as the mesoglia. Now this part is known as the mesoglia. There is no mesoderm. Instead of mesoderm, no coelom. That's why they are called as the acoelomates. Instead, a non-cellular part is present. This is known as the mesoglia. Now when we observe, there is a cavity present inside. This cavity is known as gastrovascular cavity. Gastrovascular cavity. Because it is performing two activities. One is digestion, another one is the circulation. That's why this cavity is known as the gastrovascular cavity. As the gastrovascular cavity is covered with the endoderm is also known as gastrodermis. Gastrodermis. Now actually cnidarians first used to call them as the coelentrates. Later they were now calling them as the cnidarians because of a special feature called as the cnidoblast cells. The cnidoblast cells, they are present on tentacles. Along with that, they are also present on the ectoderm of the organism. So these cnidoblast cells are also called as stinging cells, which produces toxic material. Now because of the presence of these cnidoblast cells, these are called as the cnidarians. Now what is the use of these cnidoblast cells? First one, to capture the prey, because as these cells produce the toxic material, they can kill the prey. To protect from predator, they can protect from predator. Along with that, these are also useful for anchoring purpose. Anchoring purpose means, for example, if you observe this Hydra, whenever it wants to move, so it just bends and attaches to the substratum. At that time, it is attaching to the substratum with the help of these cnidoblast cells. That's why it is also useful for anchoring purpose. Now, cnidoblast cells are mainly useful for anchoring, for collecting the prey or food, and to protect from the predator. Now, next important part is, first time nerve cells are observed. There is no brain. There is no brain for the cnidarians. Only nerve cell is network of nerve cells are observed. That is also in the gastrodermis layer. And these neurons are called as apolar neurons. Apolar. The nerve cells are neurons which are present. First time we have seen in the cnidarians, they are called as apolar. Why they are called as apolar? Generally we all know the structure of neuron. which consists of cyton, axon, dendrites. But these neurons, it is not having the dendrites and axon. That's why it is very simple. That's why it is called as a apolar neuron. As it is not having the dendrites and axon, this neuron is called as a apolar neuron. Next characteristic is polymorphism. Poly means many, morphism means instead of occurring only in one form, they may occur more than one form. That's why they are called as a polymorphism. Now mostly the cnidarians occurs in two forms. One is polyp form. This is the polyp form. Example hydra. Example hydra. This is the polyp form. Next, one more form is medusa form. This is the medusa form. So example, jellyfish. This is the medusa form. Now you can see cnidarians are occurring in different forms. One polyp form, another one is a medusa. Now what is the difference between the polyp and medusa? The polyp, they are sedentary or sessile, means they are attached to the substratum, they are immovable. Whereas the jellyfish, that is a medusa form, are free swimming and umbrella shaped. Now they are cylindrical and sedentary, they are umbrella shaped as well as they are free swimming. Along with this, one more important characters we can see, there are sense organs called statocysts which are present in the medusa form. There are no statocysts because here for the balancing purpose, the statocysts are useful. That's why as here they are moving, these jellyfish or medusoid forms are moving, they need the balancing organs. So statocyst is the balancing organ which is present in the medusa form. Now difference between the polyp and medusa. Polyp, sessile or sedentary, cylindrical, no statocyst, whereas the medusa form, umbrella shaped, free swimming and statocysts are present. Now these here in cnidarians, they exhibit alternation of generation or metagenesis. One more important characteristic of this one is alternation of generation, or which is also called as metagenesis. Metagenesis. What is this metagenesis or alternation of generation means? One form can change into another form. So here both the reproductions also we can see asexual mode of reproduction and sexual mode of reproduction. Now we have already seen that polyp and medusa forms. The polyp form, so this is the polyp form where it is undergoing budding process. So this is known as the polyp form. It undergoes asexual reproduction. It undergoes asexual reproduction. That asexual reproduction is known as budding. Asexual reproduction is known as a budding. So here in the blastocyst, they form some medusoid buds. These are called as the medusoid buds. These medusoid buds, they burst and they are released into the water. Now among that, some are male, some are female. Now this is the medusa form. This is the polyp form. This is the medusa form. These medusa forms, this is the male, this is the female. Male releases sperms into water. Female releases ova, unite and form zygote. This zygote, it changes to a larva called, first it undergoes division and forms the blastula. From the blastula, it forms the larva called as the planula. Now the larval condition here in cnidarians is the planula. This planula is free swimming. It swims for some time. Later, it becomes sedentary or sessile. That is, it attaches to the substratum. It attaches to the substratum. After that, it becomes mature polyp. Mature polyp. Here if you observe the polyp, it is undergoing asexual reproduction and forming the medusa. Medusa, it is undergoing sexual reproduction because here the gametes formation is there. So it is forming the polyp. This is known as alternation of generation or metagenesis. Alternation of generation or metagenesis. The larval condition is the planula larva. As the larva is there, the development is indirect development. Development is indirect development. Now, examples for the cnidarians. Hydra is a good example, which is generally called as a freshwater polyp. Then jellyfish or Arulia, which is also example for cnidaria. One more example is the Physalia, which is commonly called as Portuguese man of war. Portuguese man of war. Pennantula, which is also called as sea pen. Obelia, this is the Obelia, which is also called as sea fur, where we can see the metagenesis or alternation of generation.